And so we give you all we can early this morning with our Denver 7 weather action day to prepare you. Low to mid 60s right now here in town. Boulder, Broomfield, right around 70 already. So it's already starting to heat up. We've got another hour, maybe 2 hours where things still feel pretty comfortable. By this afternoon, we're going to hit a high of around 98 in Denver. Even up and through the foothills, look how warm it is. Bailey and Conifer, Evergreen, you're going to see some low 80s, near 80 there in Estes Park. But really, it's going to be the northeast and southeastern corner of the state that see some of the highest temps. Heat advisory goes into effect at 10 o'clock this morning, and it's in effect until tonight. And we also have some air quality concerns, too. I'm going to talk more about this coming up here in a few minutes, and I'll show you that fire, the wildfire, the smoke futurecast on the Super 7 Day in just a minute.
Yeah, you can already start to smell some of that outside. Right now, we do have a very serious crash up to the north in northern Colorado, where we have 257 closed down here, basically between Windsor and the Greeley bypass, Highway 34 bypass. So this is the area between basically Crossroads and the bypass. That's where the crash is. There's two cameras I wanted to show you. One, I think the camera has just moved, as you can see. Yeah, we were seeing actually some of the flashing lights. This is the one right there at 257 of the bypass. This is over County Road 17. This is where most folks are actually using that to get around that closure of that serious accident. The rest of the drive, as you can see here in Metro Denver, looks pretty decent, whether it's going to be on I-76. Busy, obviously, across downtown, 270 and I-70 out to the east side of town, over by Bruce Randolph and Quebec. A new problem down that way. We're not seeing any big delays because of it. And you can see some of the slower traffic around University getting down to Colorado Boulevard. All typical stuff for your morning commute.
Breaking news within the last hour, the FDA approved COVID vaccines for kids as young as 6 months old. There's just one more hurdle to go before preschoolers can get vaccinated. The CDC has to sign off on the shots, which could happen within days. This is the last group to get vaccine approval and represents 20 million Americans. The approval comes after an advisory panel gave its unanimous recommendation for approval on Wednesday to vaccinate candidates for both Pfizer and Moderna. More states have pre-ordered the vaccine, so they'll be ready when the CDC gives the green light. Well, now to the other big story. Well, helping your family stay safe with this rare heat advisory.
Yeah, Denver 7's Veronica Costa joins us. And Veronica, we know people are still going to want to get outside. People have to work outside, and you just have to plan for it.
And we really do hear this all the time, but the best thing you can do to try and steer clear of any kind of heat-related illness is just staying hydrated. The CDC says the best way to go about this is hydrate early in their day, kind of like right now when it's a little bit cooler, so you avoid having any kind of, thirstiness, or you're not too messed up by the heat itself. Here's what else they recommend. If you're working in the heat, you should be drinking 1 cup of water every 15 to 20 minutes. The CDC says drinking small amounts of water frequently is way more effective than drinking water all at once. Then there's drinking water after work. Experts say that's important too, because you need to replace whatever it is that you were sweating out early in the day. Now, as we start feeling temps get hotter and hotter sooner and sooner, AC is no longer just an option for a lot of us. Xcel says it's ready for the demand. But here's what the company recommends so you save some money there. Closing your curtains is one of those recommendations. Getting the fans going in your home, maybe even upgrading to a thermostat that you can program so you can better control those temps and costs. Now, our state is focused on making sure that despite temps increasing every year, the electric grid can handle it. It's why today Colorado's Public Utility Commission is scheduled to explore those utility rates and just making sure that utilities are reliable in general. That meeting is going to be happening at 2 p.m. this afternoon, and of course we'll keep you updated on what comes of it. In Denver, I'm Veronica Acosta, Denver 7.
Veronica, thank you so much. So many people are struggling to sleep through this unbelievable heat. We've got some suggestions this morning for how to get a better night's rest. The experts at sleepapnea.org recommend you use cotton sheets. Remove the blanket on your bed, replace it with a sheet that you spritz with water. Also, remember, heat rises. If you live in a 2-story, it could help to drag your bed to the first floor, sleep on the couch down there. If all else fails and you can't get enough quality sleep at night, plan for a nap in a cool space during the day. Or you can try a fan. You can see weather updates throughout the day. Just download the Denver 7 Plus app for your favorite streaming device.
Checking in on the stock market today, opening pretty flat this morning after yesterday's huge sell-off. The Dow Jones Up about 0.25%, still under 30,000 right now. Yesterday, there it goes, up over 30,000. But yesterday, of course, was the big sell-off in response to the Fed raising interest rates this week. It's been a roller coaster week. The rate hike is affecting more than just Wall Street. Mortgage rates jumped to 5.78%. And used cars are costing near all-time highs. New cars as well. Monthly payments are up. Also, you may not want to check your 401k right now. Almost every major fund has lost 10% from where it was at the beginning of the year. Don't sell on a sell-off, though. Take a longer view, 12 months at a time, not just one day. And some good news. An analyst with GasBuddy is projecting prices in most of the country will be coming down in the days and weeks ahead. GasBuddy analyst Patrick DeHaan said we could drop back down to a national average as low as $4.74 by July 4th. Never thought we'd be happy to say $4.74 for gas, right? A long-term construction project through the metro is getting better starting today. Traffic expert Jason Luber is here with the details on that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Nicole, we are talking about the new express lanes that are opening on the eastbound side of I-70 between Colorado Boulevard and 225, and there's a new crash in there. First crash of the express lanes history. And a couple weeks ago, we had a crash, or we had the westbound sides has already opened. So that's good news. The also good news is this area is free for now while CDOT is testing their tolling equipment.
So really just want to make sure that that tolling equipment is working as it should, making sure that it's counting all of the vehicles that are using the lanes. So this is pretty typical for all of our express lanes testing that we've seen throughout the metro area.
Telling me they probably won't start charging tolls until early next year. The next major milestone will be opening the eastbound I-70 tunnel, scheduled right now for the weekend of July 16th and 17th. The majority of the I-70 project should be wrapped up by the end of this year.
Jason, thank you. Overnight, the Golden State Warriors won their 4th NBA title in just 8 years, beating the Boston Celtics in Game 6, 103-90. After falling behind 14-2 at the start of the game, the Warriors made a comeback. Steph Curry finished the series with a team-high 34 points and was named the NBA Finals MVP.
And here's a welcome sight for Avs fans. Nazem Kadri was back on the ice Thursday. He was practicing with a stick for the first time since having thumb surgery. And while he looks pretty good out there, he likely will not be ready to play in tomorrow's game 2, which means, of course, you're going to have to cheer on the Avs even harder to make up for his absence.
There are some changes that you'll see at watch parties tomorrow while you're doing that cheering. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live from the Tivoli Quad, where organizers are making the party there, Christian, bigger and better.
That's right, and around 5,600 people attended that first watch party on Wednesday. They are expecting double that amount this weekend, so around 10,000 people, and organizers are getting everything ready to make sure everyone has a fun and safe time. They told us that they were really happy with how everything turned out on Wednesday. The biggest issue that they had was that there was some confusion among fans on how to enter. So there is only one entrance for safety and security purposes, and it's located on the southwest corner of Tivoli Quad. That's at the intersection of 10th and Larimer. So ahead of Game 2 on Saturday, organizers are also increasing the number of staff for the food and for the beer areas as well.
There were a few lines. We're actually going to double our team that's going to support our fans on Saturday. We want to ensure that the fan experience is the best it can be, and so we are entirely focused on serving their needs.
Denver police will also be increasing patrols here in this area as well as next to Ball Arena, and those gates will open at 3 p.m. on Saturday. Live in Denver this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
All right, Christian, thank you. The Avs will have practice at Ball Arena this morning at 11, and we'll be there to talk to the coach and players ahead of Saturday's game. Tonight, meanwhile, some of the Avs support team and Denver 7 will be at the Denver Rescue Mission.
We're very excited to take Bernie and 2 members of our ICE patrol, TV talent from Altitude, Peter McNabb and Mark Mosier, and Danny New from Channel 7 are going to join us in serving dinner to the clients at the crossing.
And the Avs have several projects to help the rescue mission, including collecting all those hats thrown on the ice after a hat trick and a yearly canned food drive. Denver 7 is your home for all things Stanley Cup. We have special coverage tomorrow morning starting at 7 a.m. Then join us for the pregame show at 5:30, the game starting at 6, and our postgame show after.
Sadly, the World Cup is not coming to Denver in 2026. The city's bid to host games at Empower Field was passed over. We were among 22 cities in the final round of consideration. The 2026 World Cup will be the first to include teams from 48 nations and is the first to be staged across 3 countries, the U.S., Mexico, and Canada.
Up next, the weekend event set to bring Native American tribes to Colorado in hopes of healing some old wounds.
And how much will the heat be playing into your weekend plans? Lisa's timing out what's going to be a warm one on this Weather Action Day after the break.